Faker has won his 5th world title in a 3-2 series victory over BLG that saw T1 have to dig deep and come back from 2-1 down. It needed something special, something magical, something that almost defied logic, and that's exactly what T1 delivered.
Before we hop into today's episode, I want to thank our sponsor, Opera GX, and their brand new feature, Riot Corner. Opera GX is an official sponsor of Worlds 2024, and they're kicking off Worlds with some sweet new in-browser features. In Riot Corner, you'll get access to a schedule of all the matches, a co-streaming hub to jump in and watch, and limited time drops exclusive to GX users at lolesports.com. I can't stress this enough, guys. This is a one-stop shop for absolutely everything you need to keep up with Worlds, baked right into an already awesome gaming browser. So go download Opera GX right now via the link in the description below. Using that link, your browser will download with the official mods, and you'll have access to Riot Corner as soon as you hop in the browser. Thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring our exclusive World show, The Last Hit, and supercharging our coverage this year. Now, let's get back into today's video.
The 14th League of Legends World Championship final kicked off in London's O2 Arena with a performance of Heavy is the Crown by Linkin Park as the Summoners Cup ascended to the stage and the band introduced the teams. On one side we had the reigning world champions who had defied expectations by even making it to the tournament and then the finals, and on the other we had the terrifying LPL super team who had been finding their form with each successive win and were now looking to bring their true power crashing down on T1. And Game 1 started as BLG meant to go on, with a level 1 wraparound catching Gumayusi's Caitlyn off guard, who really needed to flash or die, and instead elected to do both. BLG kept that early pressure up, with Knight bullying Faker off the wave in the mid lane, while Elk and On went in on T1's bot, and Jun combined with Bin in the top lane to take down Zeus. All of the second grubs looked to be going BLG's way, until Gumayusi reminded everyone that nothing is too tricky for him to steal.
T1 decision right now, do they just let Faker farm turret play?
Oh, Guma! It's Guma! It's at the Baron pit! I know it's the grubs right now, but he always manages to steal it!
A well-timed Mega Gnar from Zeus picked up T1's first 2 kills, but when a team fight began shortly after, BLG eviscerated T1, with Elk's Ashe picking up the triple kill. A lonesome owner getting picked off with his own stolen Sejuani ult allowed BLG to crack T1's base before 18 minutes. T1 were too late to stop BLG taking Baron before 25 minutes, but just in time to get convincingly mopped up in the following team fight, and shortly after, BLG choked T1 out in their own base to take Game 1.
Baker's fate is sealed as he dives the backline and dies for it! BLG come out swinging and take Game 1!
The coordination from BLG in this first game was exquisite.
It was deja vu in Game 2 as Gumayusi fell to a BLG invade to once again give Elk first blood, and now flashless Gumayusi somehow survived a 3v2 which was eventually turned round by T1 once Owner and Faker showed up to put T1 ahead, and they really began to twist the knife a few minutes later in a 5v4 team fight which netted Gumayusi a double kill. The next team fight just before 60 minutes looked even cleaner, showcasing T1's comp with a perfect layering of ults. BLG thought they'd caught Faker 8 minutes later, but they thought wrong, and you really felt that was their only chance to put a dent in T1. T1 took Baron and wiped BLG off the map just before 27 minutes to even up the series.
T1 will strike back in game number 2 to even it up here in London.
Try as you might, T1. I'm on home turf, and we're going to a best of 3.
Game 3's early game went firmly in BLG's favour, who racked up a massive 5k gold lead by just 14 minutes. By 21 minutes, they'd extended that to 7k with more kills and turrets under their belts, and what looked like a decent collapse onto Knight's Galio for T1 was quickly turned around into T1 just collapsing. A TP flank looked promising for T1 as they tried to defend their inhib, resulting in a 2-for-2, but the damage had already been done to T1's base, and when BLG returned for dessert, they left no crumbs, giving Elk the triple kill and BLG the 2-1 series lead.
Already 4-0 for BLG as they are looking to take us to match point.
A convincing Game 3 victory from BLG. Bin calm and cool as he walks off the stage. BLG have come into this series looking nothing but confident.
T1's backs could not be more up against the wall going into Game 4, quickly finding themselves almost 1,000 gold down by 6 minutes, but a flashy solo bolo from Faker seemed to breathe life back into the squad, who won a knife's edge team fight before Second Dragon to give themselves the gold lead, with Carrier's Renata doing some AP Karma cosplay. The gold stayed pretty tight until 20 minutes when a flank from Faker set up a disgusting wombo combo, allowing T1 to take Baron. It was Faker who led the charge again soon after with a stolen Sejuani ult. Gumayusi decided he was now T1's back and front line. It wasn't long before a Baron and sold up T1 were able to shut down BLG once again and even up the series at 2-2.
On the shoulders of Faker, T1 will go to Game 5. There is no one like him, not on this earth. T1 take us to Silver Scrapes.
In the do-or-die Game 5 with BLG getting a very comfortable draft for them, Knight's Ari picked up 2 crucial kills early on to slow the gold lead T1 was amassing. After a quiet early game left the teams on almost even gold, an overstep from On's Rel allowed T1 to pick him off and continue dragon stacking in the mid-game. But a few minutes later, what looked like a winning team fight for BLG after T1 took a 4v5 without Faker was turned around in stunning fashion.
Overlook the re-engage onto Onch and down to half HP. Ben gets onto the back line, Gumayusi cleanses away, but Ben has already put him in the dirt. Kevin is next up. BLG find 2, T1 able to back away for the moment, but the TP behind by Ben as he looks for a little bit more. Oh, they go back in. Faker flashes in, and down goes Knight once again when you need someone, when you need anyone to stand up and show just what this game's all about. It's Faker. He finds another. T1 find 5.
And just after 31 minutes, Faker looked dead to rights, but somehow managed to survive the 1v3 long enough for the T1 cavalry to save the day.
Wait, Zeus is caught. He's 1v4 here. He's actually gonna die. Oh, the Galley ult! Hey, denial! Elk Sonya's was good. Do they have the damage to get them down? Oh, he sniped him! He sniped him! Oh, Zeus! Oh, Faker, you have done! Sonya's! Here come Odin! There, guys! Faker's alive! Faker's alive! He's alive! He's alive! He's alive! He's alive! How is he alive?
And many people might not have noticed that Carrier's Poppy ult onto Knight stopped him from TPing into the fight in what may very well have been the difference maker. And so, off the back of another Faker miracle play in a series which reached 6.94 million viewers and broke the all-time esports viewership record, T1 ran down top to end the game and win Worlds 2024.
T1 are the past, the present, and the future. A new era, the same empire. T1 are your 2024 world champions.
Even I'm struggling to find the words to describe this right now, so before I do, let's hear it from the man himself, Sean Wetselaar, who was on the ground at the finals.
Another year, another chance to say it, Faker is just him. He showed up in the grand finals of the World Championship when his team needed it the most. Now, BLG had some insanely strong early games in this series, getting first blood all 5 times. And at some point, it looked like T1 might just crumble. But in Game 4, up against this scaling Smolder, when their backs were against the wall and his team needed him the most, Faker put the game and the series on his back.
Take a look at that flank. We'll seal away the quickness from Onguest. Charm flashes in, binds 2. Equalizer on the back line as well. As Faker is not off this earth. He finds the engage. He finds everything T1 were looking for.
일단 4세트 같은 경우에 제가 사일러스로 한번 이니시를 한 장면이 있었는데 그 장면에서 좀 직관적으로 좀 이니시를 했는데 되게 결과도 잘 나오고 좀 되게 팀원들도 잘 호응해줘서 그 장면이 좀 가장 상징적이었던 것 있습니다. 개인적으로.
Faker's engages completely turned the tide, giving the fans in London the silver scrapes we all deserved for such a remarkable series. So, heading into Game 5, Bin locks in the Jacks. It's a comfort pick, it's his signature champion, and I think we all sort of expected Zeus to counter it with this weak side Gragas that he's been pioneering in lane swaps throughout this tournament. And in addition to that matchup between probably the two best top laners in the world, Faker put on an absolute master class on Galio.
Ona, very close here.
Pressure on you, shadowing strike going wide. Shun tries to dash across the wall, but immediately he's locked up, goes in with the Cataclysm. Gumayushi pops the Feather Storm. Ona looks to re-engage onto Onshan, down to half HP. Ben gets onto the back line, Gumayushi cleanses away, but Ben has already put him in the dirt. Kevy is next up. BLG find 2, T1 able to back away for the moment, but the TP behind by Ben as he looks for a little bit more. Oh, they go back in! Baker flashes in, and down goes Knight! Once again, when you need someone, when you need anyone to stand up and show just what this game's all about, it's Faker! He finds another!
So the way that Guma got isolated and taken out of that fight, it looked like it should be BLG's win, but Faker absolutely came to the rescue. That play netted them Baron, turning the tide. But then, a few moments later, in what seemed like a completely impossible 2v4, this happened.
Wait a second, topside, Zeus under fire.
Zeus caught out, killer instinct in by Elk. BLG collapsing, 4 members strong, the hero's entrance.
Oh, Zeus!
Faker joins the fight. Elk with the stopwatch, Faker in the middle of them all. And it seems like death may have arrived. And his name is Faker. He's here for your lives. The rest of T1 begins to collapse. Faker's gonna fall as he blocks the stopwatch, manages to buy himself a second. Oda here to save his mid laner once again. And Faker still stands. He has ascended. He stands above it all. And he looks hungrily at that world's trophy. Knight goes in with the spear rush, lands the charm as well. The first Nexus tower's fallen, and T1 are just looking for the prize. They're hungry for it. T1 are the past, the present, and the future. A new era, the same empire. T1 are your 2024 world champions.
Faker was all over the map, and his performances in Game 4 and Game 5 especially were a huge part of T1 lifting the Summoners Cup yet again. It's no surprise that he became the first player in history to earn 2 Finals MVPs. At this point, what more can you say? When his team needs him the most, Faker always produces some kind of magic.
Thanks to Sean for that. I couldn't have put it better myself. Maybe Faker is just magical. Or maybe he's been on this final stage so many times now that his experience is unassailable. You can have an incredible year like BLG, be the best team in your region, have a super team of stars with the scary pocket picks and deep champion pools that they have. You can figure out the meta or even define it. But at the end of the day, there's no competing with the experience of a player who has been to a Worlds final a total of 7 times now. That's just one less than the entire LPL region. That experience, dating back over a decade now, has forged a self-belief in Faker that's not born out of arrogance, but a simple fact he knows. He's been here before and come out the other end. He just has to stay calm and play, and more often than not, he'll win. And maybe that self-assuredness has rubbed off on the rest of T1, because if they ever doubt themselves, they too only have to look at the evidence. At Faker's side, they've got to 3 finals in a row now and won 2 of them. For the ZOFGK roster, the greatest roster ever assembled, the proof is very much in the pudding. It may not be too much of a surprise then that yesterday Korean news outlet Naver reported that a T1 official had told them all the players have the will to stay together. For now though, the discussion has been about which skins the lads will be taking, with Faker saying he'll go with something the fans like. I and many others will be praying for Galio, but whatever he chooses, he'll now have 9 skins, including his upcoming Worlds and Prestige skins, which is more than 62 champions have. It is comical at this point. Faker's brilliance and longevity have almost exhausted everything there is to say about him. We've gone from debating whether he's the best esports player of all time to asking whether he's the greatest competitor across, well, everything. And spare a thought for BLG here. By anyone's standards, they put together a Worlds winning roster that was a single game from glory. They put up a hell of a fight, and in a world without T1 or Faker, I don't see how anyone could have stopped them from lifting that trophy. But that's not the world we live in. We live in one where an LPL team is still unable to do something so seemingly simple, yet apparently impossible: beating Faker at Worlds in a best-of-5 series. It was hard not to feel sorry for the likes of Bin, tweeting out a single broken heart after the final and wondering how he can even sleep after that. BLG will go back to the drawing board and ask themselves what more they could have possibly done. And sure, they will find room to improve. They did make mistakes that series, particularly in Game 5. I bet other teams around the world are already studying that series for clues as to how to crack T1 at Worlds, and next year we'll likely see the whole world try once again to bring them down. But even with the whole world against them, even if they're plagued by injuries and tormented by DDoSers throughout the year, as we find ourselves in this new T1 dynasty, I wouldn't bet against them.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit us up on our X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.